Hi guys, this is Isaac again from the Gavi midterm review in Abu Dhabi. I'm now here with three innovator partners to Gavi. So Emma Sargent from 100 Omnicom, Ben Hubbard from Parsyl, and Rustam Nabiev from Shifo. Thank you very much for taking time to speak with us. I know that a lot of things going on, but really appreciate your time. So we have a couple of questions we wanted to ask you guys. So the first one is, you all come from very different starting points, obviously. But we've gathered here at the Gavi MTR. So I'm curious here, what is it that you want to contribute to Gavi's mission? So maybe Emma, if you want to kick that off.
Yeah, thank you. I come from basically a creative industry, and what we wanted to do was be able to utilize our creative thinking and the insights that we can gather to really help Gavi reach the unreachable. So those in the last mile, the last maybe crowded mile in the urban slum setting. So that was the project that we've been working on with Gavi.
Thank you. Ben?
Well, in our case, we're a technology company. We help people understand the conditions of sensitive products as they move through the supply chain. And the challenge of guaranteeing that a potent vaccine makes it to a child is actually one of the things that inspired us as a company early on. And so while we serve other markets, we made a conscious decision early on that we wanted to help contribute to the Gavi mission. Because we knew our technology could have a human impact. So we're really pleased to just be part of this awesome mission that Gavi's spearheading.
Thank you. And over to you, Rustam.
Gavi's mission is to reach every child, right? 100% with all the vaccines, so that we can prevent from them dying from vaccine-preventable diseases. And in this MTR meeting, what we learned is that Gavi has reached 80% of children. So there is a fifth child that is not being reached today with vaccines. So that's roughly 19.9 million children that are out there. So what we're trying to do at Shifo is to make sure that every child is registered, no matter where they live, so that based on that, the systems that Shifo is building can follow up on that fifth child and where that child is. So that based on identifying those gaps, Gavi, as well as key stakeholders in the countries, they can prioritize their resources to reach that fifth child. So that's what we're trying to do at Shifo, to make sure that there are systems in place that can detect where the fifth children are, so that then the resources can be spent to reach them.
Thank you. It's very exciting to have you here with all this very interesting innovation in the work that you do. Taking maybe a more broader sort of lens, looking at what is it about innovation, I guess a very rapidly changing world that we see right now, that actually motivates you? Ben, do you want to start?
Look, at technology, in our case, we're in the technology business and it's changing fast. I think what excites us is how we can deliver world-class technology to underserved users. And a healthcare worker is a case in point. There's a lot of great products and services being developed from a technology sense, but they're not always designed with that type of user in mind. So again, as a technology company, thinking about what can we do at an early stage as we're thinking about our product and how it's designed to make sure it's meeting the needs of that last mile healthcare worker who's vaccinating children. So that's what's exciting. I think that's the opportunity really to leverage all this technology and use it for these types of use cases.
And Emma?
I think it's also about enabling the voice on the ground to be heard, so using technology to bring that voice forward, but also I think partnering together with other innovation organisations to find collective solutions, which means we can move more quickly, and also we're really reflecting what's needed on the ground. So we can come in with great creative ideas, and we can get creative ideas from all over the world using our innovation platforms, but actually unless we partner elsewhere, we can't perhaps drive those things forward. But I think the great thing about innovation is it allows you to be nimble, and it allows things to happen that perhaps previously were kind of unthinkable maybe a couple of years ago.
Rustam, what do you want to add to that question?
What I can add into this is that the technology landscape is changing very quickly, and what is important is to if we want to support the Gavi's mission, it is all about creating resilient health systems, making sure that any innovation that is brought can be sustained by the governments themselves. And that's why what is important, I think, going forward for Gavi as well as other partners in the alliance is to make sure that we can systematically address gaps through sustainable innovations. So that we can make sure that any innovations that we bring, that governments can sustain those gains. And I think that will be very, very important to remember and to act upon going forward.
Absolutely. That's something very important to Gavi as well, for sure. I think you probably already answered my third question. So what is about partnerships that motivates you? We talk about innovation, but is there anything you want to add on specifically partnership angles?
I mean, I think partnership allows you to move faster. I think none of us can actually kind of do it on our own. By partnering and listening to each other and working out how we can find solutions together just means you can get to the answer more quickly, rather than us just thinking we're great in our own right and we can innovate in isolation. But actually innovating together means, and in partnership with Gavi means we'll find the solutions faster.
Yeah, I think it's partnerships, it's a two-way value dimension. So obviously as a smaller company working with a large player like Gavi and with national governments, it allows us to bring our solution to scale faster. But at the same time, it's great for Gavi too to bring in other solutions. Which is what's been so exciting about the Infuse program with Gavi is they've really opened up their ecosystem and brought companies like Parsyl into the tent, and that's much harder to do than it is to say. And Gavi's really backed their calls for innovation with action, and that's really exciting.
Rustam.
My favorite Swedish word is the word tillsammans.
Tillsammans.
That means together. And I believe that it's through the partnership, value-added partnership, that we can reach the fifth child, but making sure that we can build resilient health systems. So to me, that's why if we want to go that last mile, if we want to make sure that the health system is strong, even so that without Gavi they can run the immunization programs in the countries, we have to do it in partnership. And that's why Gavi is trying to do its best to increase the amount of value-added partners that can help in its mission.
No, it's clear about innovation, collaboration and partnership. That's the last question I want to ask you. I mean, Gavi is also a young organization, we're turning 18 this year. Now, if you had one message to young people today, what would it be? I guess in the lens of innovation, entrepreneurship and so on. What, Emma?
Again, perhaps with my lens on it, is use their voice, particularly in the social media. We know that sometimes it needs a grassroots effort in country to persuade the government to commit and create a sustainable future. So I think, if you're young, either in or outside a Gavi country, use your voice to really speak to the governments to support this, again, to create a sustainable future for those fifth children that haven't been reached.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard not to sound trite with a question like that, but I think I would echo: use your voice, hold people accountable, and demand what you think is justice from your leaders, from your community. And it does sound trite, but dream really big. And I think Gavi's a great example. You can do really big things in a relatively short amount of time.
Rustam, anything more in Swedish?
And maybe not this time. But what I wanted to say is that, it's young people who think different.
Yeah.
And when we try to solve the challenges, we have to think outside of the box. So that's why my message to the young people would be that if you really want to make a difference, go and figure out in the local context, what kind of solutions could work to close some of the gaps there. And communicate that to the governments, to key stakeholders, to Gavi, because Gavi is a platform to take those innovations and then to scale them in different countries and different contexts. So that would be my message to the young people.
Thank you. Well, Rustam, Emma, Ben, thank you very much for taking time. Really appreciate it. And thanks to everyone who tuned in to our Facebook Live.
Thank you.
There'll be more to come, so thank you. Over and out.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.